Okay, here's some lessons we can learn from initially positioning your product and business from a couple small companies called Uber and Tesla. When Uber first came out, it was not an on-demand taxi cab for everyone. In fact, it was this, private driver, black cab service, that you were able to hail with your phone. Pricing here was not affordable to the mass market, and it was very much positioned as a premium service to a premium or higher end market. When Tesla first launched, their very first car was actually the Roadster, which was a super high-end sports car, but really just a proof of concept. Their first production market-ready car was the Model S at a minimum of $85,000. That appeals to a very small segment of consumers looking to buy a car. So why is it that both of these businesses went premium and niche, serving an upmarket audience first? For Uber, this was a function of attracting an early adopter. That early adopter, when they launched back in 2012, was someone who was going to be very tech savvy, use their driver service with some kind of frequency, and like this idea of showing up in style. Second benefit here is that early on, Uber is going to be doing far less volume in terms of rides than they are now. So you have to charge a higher rate on a lower volume in order to have cash to reinvest into the business. With Tesla, a similar principle applies. R&D costs involved with making this electric vehicle are extremely high. So Tesla said, let us appeal to our early adopters. Again, who's going to be most likely to buy the first real market-ready electric vehicle? Going to be consumers who are tech-savvy, have a lot of cash to spend, and are willing to be the first ones to try this. They also knew that they were going to sell a lower volume of the Tesla Model S than most car models and manufacturers would. So if they're selling a lower volume, they need to charge a higher price. And with that capital, could then invest in creating more models that appeal to a more mass market consumer. From both of these, there's 3 takeaways. First, by starting premium, you can always go down market, but it's very hard to do the reverse. If Tesla started with a $20,000 vehicle, it would be very hard for them to get to a price point where they're selling a $100,000 vehicle. Second, if you're doing something relatively novel, know who your early adopters are going to be. There's this pretty famous graphic called effectively the adoption curve. And it classifies those types of people as a percentage of your total population that are going to adopt your product. So initially, these are in the spaces of innovators and early adopters. So what this means is that while everyone in the entire world who drives a vehicle may want an electric car, that doesn't mean that your initial go-to-market strategy should be everyone. You should really do the thinking around who those innovators and early adopters are going to be and allow that to drive the product and brand strategy. And this is kind of one and the same lesson as starting with a niche. Start with a niche, own that niche, and then expand.